Broadcasting live from Caracas on the plain of Dominaria, it is Tap Tap Concede.
We don't have an, well, we have an intro music. But
I thought that was the intro. Anyway, we bounced our third cast member with Caracas.
Yeah, James went back to where he belongs.
Into somebody's sweaty grip.
So sweaty.
We only run that guy for ETP effects anyways, so really it's the best play.
What does James do when he enters the battlefield? I've probably done it on Friday nights before.
He picks me up at home and takes me here. James ETPs with pizza.
Shuffle him back into the deck after he's dropped you off. Oh, man.
James is a hero.
What are we doing here today?
We are... Okay, first off, we're going to crack some packs. Or crack a pack. Then we are going to do a Highlander deck tech with the lists that you have set in. We've selected a few of them that we think have, we have things to say about. Mm-hmm. All the lists were actually super good.
Yeah, it was actually a little difficult finding ones that needed work, because a bunch of them were actually like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's maybe one or two cards that are not the best, but
yeah,
there was a lot of solid lists sent in, so good job.
Yeah, and basically what happens with a lot of these Highlander lists is you just start playing with them and they start to, like, evolve under the evolutionary pressure of the other lists in your meta.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing is that, there's no best deck in the format. There's, the best deck for the meta at the time, right? So...
Yeah, basically, like, the thing with Highlander is, like, don't be afraid to kill your darlings.
Yeah, but by the same token, still play at least one pet card.
Oh, yeah, play
your pet card. Sometimes your pet card is Force of Will, but...
Yeah, my pet card is Cryptic Command.
Well, aren't you precious?
My pet card is Tendrils of Agony.
It's my commander.
Anyway, let's crack a pack.
All right.
Okay.
Roll it. Goodbye.
I'll miss
Goodbye.
you.
That's an 11-ish?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it's 11.
Cocked,
it's
but
cocked.
It's 11.
We somehow cocked a 20-sided die.
Weird.
2, 3,
well,
4,
it landed on
5,
all the cables.
6, 7, 8, 9,
9
10, 11 Chronicles.
Don't!
How many mountains do you think will be in here?
I don't know. Who is this sent by?
It was unnoted, actually.
It was punishment handed down by the gods.
Yeah. Oh, it's the set that ruined Magic for all time.
This was the set that caused the reserve list to happen.
Yeah.
Because Chronicles is a entirely reprint set, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With contains selected cards from the following expansions: Arabian Nights, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark. And
that pissed off a lot of collectors because they're like, how come my cards are going down in price? And they're like,
we reprinted a bunch of cards that people wanted.
Yeah. And now we can't.
Yeah.
But that's its own discussion.
Yep.
In the meantime, we're going to open this pack of Chronicles and probably be disappointed, but...
I mean, that's literally what Eternal Masters is.
Yeah.
And so is Modern Masters. And
yeah.
Yep. Turns out people
only
want
with
these
a bunch of cards that... Only excluding a bunch of cards that people really want.
Is there a Blood Moon in this set? I don't remember.
From the Dark? Possibly.
Maybe.
White Bordered Blood Moon?
Yeah, still $50.
All right. So, first card from Arabian Nights, Abu Jafar. He is a 0/1 for 1 white mana. He is a leper. If Abu Jafar is put into the graveyard from play during combat, bury all creatures blocking or blocked by Abu Jafar.
His subtype is leper?
Yep.
I wonder if he's being oracled to be human leper.
I don't know.
This is interesting. Barry was a not a keyword.
He's just a regular human.
Just regular human.
Oh, okay.
No leper subtype.
And also, when he dies, destroy all creatures blocking or blocked by it. They can't be regenerated.
Yeah, Barry was an old phrase that meant destroy, can't be regenerated.
Oh, okay. I thought it meant just destroy.
No, it specifically means destroy, can't be regenerated.
Oh, okay.
And then they made that more explicit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, strange what keywords survive and what don't.
I think this is our rare.
Really?
I think so.
Primordial Ooze from Legends. Primordial Ooze is a 1/1 for 1 red. Must attack each turn if possible. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on Primordial Ooze. At the end of your upkeep, pay X, where X is equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on Primordial Ooze, or Primordial Ooze deals X damage to you. If Primordial Ooze deals damage to you in this way, tap it.
Ow. So this is like very slowly build your own Lord of the Pit,
Yeah,
kind of. This is almost all downside.
yeah,
So, yeah, you have so little control over this guy.
Yeah.
Or this thing, this mass of material. And it's got one of those sort of Punisher mechanics where it's like gets better or bigger every turn. You know,
but you have to keep feeding it.
yeah, I look at this and then I think about Stromkirk Noble. I'm like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah, how far we've come.
Sometimes power creep is good.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 1 red mana also gets you Goblin Guide.
Yeah, or, you know, Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, Chain Lightning.
What else we got? That's a Birdman.
Enchantment Alteration.
What?
It is a blue instant for 1 blue. It is an instant for 1 blue. Switch target enchantment from one creature to another or from one land to another. That enchantment's new target must be legal. The controller of the enchantment does not change. Treat the enchantment as though it were just cast on the new target. Excuse me.
So you just take an aura and shift it
Yeah.
to a different permanent that is illegal. That's weird
Yeah.
and not very useful.
I guess you could use it to move a pacifism around for 1 card, but really that's not a good use of a card.
Yeah, not so much. It's kind of cool high concept art because like there's a negative space where the guy's wings were and this dude behind him has them.
Has wings now. Yeah.
Also, I love his shades. He's just like, I'm too cool for these wings. Oh,
I
Brian
was too
Snotty.
cool for these wings. Next up, we have Argothian Pixies from Antiquities.
Oh yeah.
They cost 1 and a green for a 2/1. Really?
Okay.
Okay. Cannot be blocked by artifact creatures. Okay.
Weirdly specific.
Any damage dealt to Argothian Pixies by artifact creatures is reduced to 0.
So almost protection from artifacts.
Yeah, these guys are almost playable.
Yeah, I think they printed a 2/1 with actual protection from artifacts since then. But yeah.
Huh. These guys are almost good.
Well, I mean, it's printed in Antiquities, so
Yeah.
it was probably actually pretty good. This walks right through your Juggernaut.
Yeah, and things like Brassman. Next up, Hazren Ogress.
Hey, what's up?
Double black for an ogre. She is a 3/2. If you declare Hazren Ogress as an attacker, pay 2 or Hazren Ogress deals 3 damage to you. That's
What's
exactly
with all these Punisher mechanics?
That's exactly the clause I want to see on an aggressively costed 3/2.
This is awful.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably play Sangrophage over this.
Yeah.
It's just like, ew.
Oh, I thought this was Phil Folio art. It's Dan Frazier.
Really, that is... Okay, well, I like that it has the sort of OG style background that you would see on certain cards.
Oh, the one where it's almost like they pulled saran wrap off wet paint.
Yeah, you see that on all of the Moxes, actually.
Yeah.
They have that weird, like, kind of background.
Next up, Divine Offering from Legends.
This is actually playable-ish.
1 and a white for an instant. Destroy target artifact. Gain life equal to the artifact's casting cost. Was this reprinted in Scars block?
I believe so.
Okay.
It was reprinted. I don't remember what block it
I'm
was in.
pretty sure this was in Scars block.
But yeah, this is fine. It's a shatter where you gain life, so
Yeah.
it's better than shatter.
Yeah. Okay.
I considered playing this in Junk Sisters as a way to gain life.
Yeah, it was in Mirrodin Besieged and also Mirage.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Urza's Tower.
Urzatron.
Urzatron.
Oh, this is the big one.
Urzatron.
Ermagerd Urzatron. So
Forward.
here's a playable in Modern.
Okay, do you want to handle this one?
I do, because this was like a big deal when I was a kid getting into this game, and it is now actually a big deal because everybody's kind of. I feel like they were waiting for it to become a deck, and then it finally did. Urza's Tower is a land. Tap to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Not so exciting. If you control Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower, and Urza's Power Plant, add 3 colorless mana instead of 1. So they call it the Urzatron because it's like if you get all 3 in play, the amount of mana you get out of them is increased enormously.
Yeah, you
'Cause the
get
other
like
two-
7 mana, right? They
3, 5, yeah, it's 7. Because this one, the tower taps for 3, and then the
mine-
mine and power plant each tap for 2.
yeah.
So, modern Urzatron, or just Tron, revolves around getting all these into play, using stuff like Primeval Titan. Does it play? What else does it do? It's
don't know.
Sylvan Scrying.
I thought that deck
And
kind of got
Expedition Map?
goozled by having Eye of Ugin
I don't
banned.
know. I think it probably didn't suffer as much as
Well,
well,
Eldrazi,
Eldrazi, yeah,
which
but
just apparently is now like a B tier aggro deck.
that's unfortunate.
Oh,
But
and
yeah.
also it is the mountain one.
Ooh, it is the mountain one.
Yeah. So
Yeah, just make a whole bunch of mana
oh, now I just want to put together like modern Urzatron with all white border cards.
just to tilt people.
Yeah, and play them in like penny sleeves.
Oh, that's you slam your Karn with like white around the edges because
Yeah.
it's been scraped on concrete. That's like Chris or no, it wasn't Chris Ireland, but he told me about somebody who built a mono black legacy deck with like sinkholes and dark ritual and hypnotic specters and stuff, and he white bordered all the cards. I was just like, you monster! What is wrong with you? Oh,
Random Urza's trivia. In the original Antiquities, this Urza's tower was common, but all the other Urza's towers were uncommon.
that's weird.
All the other it's just, I guess, what sheet they were printed on.
Yeah.
Huh.
They printed one on the common sheet, and the other 3 were on the uncommon sheet.
That's
Man.
very weird.
Yeah, they did a lot of weird stuff like that. But these are so pretty.
They are. This is Mark Poole. Did he also do Mishra's Factory?
I don't know. I want to say so.
It looks similar. This is back when they were printing all sorts of different artworks
Yeah.
for cards, but
I kind of miss that,
yeah,
but
you get a little bit of it with the reprints
yeah.
and promo cards. But
Like I remember having arguments over which Order of the Ebon Hand was the best. Yeah. And it's clearly the guy with like the saw blade shield.
yeah, that one's pretty good.
Although wait, no, I also really like the one with the knight sitting on the rock with the sword.
Yeah.
Anyway, next card, Flash Flood.
Oh, good.
For 1 blue, you get an instant that destroys target red permanent or return target mountain to owner's hand.
This is like a weird, almost Hydroblast,
Yeah.
but it only has the Vindicate effect, and it bounces mountains.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, it bounces a Taiga.
I guess so.
I don't know if that's good. I don't think it's good. Many people say that no power can bring the mountains low. Many people are fools. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, look at...
Oh! No.
Oh, it looked like a Volk, didn't it?
Yeah, no, this always gets me.
It's like, oh.
Oh. Active Volcano. 1 red instant.
Oh, so this is
Destroy
the
target
opposite.
blue permanent or return target island to owner's hand.
Oh, so we got both.
Yep.
These are the opposite cards.
But the active Volcano doesn't have flavor text.
Boo.
Yep.
Strictly worse. It's also got way worse art. That is just...
Yeah.
Justin Hampton, I'm sorry. I'm sure you've gotten better since then, but this is just... This is like, okay.
Yeah.
It's done. Ew.
Scavenger Folk. I remember these guys from the dark.
Creepy.
1 green for a 1/1. They are Scavenger Folk. For 1 green, you can tap them and sacrifice them to destroy target artifact. Oh wait, sacrificing Scavenger Folk isn't part of the cost.
What? Oh.
It's part of the effect.
So they could potentially blow this up in response.
Yeah,
That's weird.
very.
It's amazing how much difference the location of the colon on the text. Although this may have been errata to
It's possible.
just like move the colon in front of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a low investment to blow up an artifact.
I suppose so.
It's probably being supplanted by other creatures that do
In
more.
fact, they have moved their colon.
They
Oh,
have.
okay.
So it is part of the cost.
So it is, green tap and sacrifice colon destroy target artifact.
All right.
There we go.
Also, can you imagine what other art Justin Hampton might have done?
Justin Hampton?
Yeah, you
I don't
You
know.
were so insulting about his artwork.
I'm sorry.
How about some
Oh,
sweet reverse polarity action?
right.
Aye.
That one.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate.
Or
That is good art.
damping field?
That guy's so tilted by this dagger. He's like, no, man. Oh, no. Has he done any more recent ones? Or was it just like...
This one's
I feel
somewhat
kind of...
regeneration.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
not too
no,
bad.
see,
He's
he did get better.
Yeah.
He probably went on to do, like, great fantasy art.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But, you know, the early days are always kind of embarrassing. Like, I have
Yeah.
stuff that I've drawn that's just god-awful.
Yeah. All right. Goblin Shrine. 1 red, red, red. For an enchant land, as long as target land is a mountain, all goblins get +1/+0. If Goblin Shrine leaves play, it deals 1 damage to each goblin.
This is a trap. This is... I think I've seen this in a couple of people's attempted Goblin Highlander lists. This is a trap. Do not play this card. It's awful.
Oh, wow. Flavor text
yeah.
from Norin the Wary, though.
What?
Yeah,
That's... I did not know he was around for that long.
apparently.
This is from The Dark. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're way better off playing an actual Lord or something else.
Yeah, something that can attack.
Like, this is the card where you play it and they strip mine you and you lose the game.
Yeah,
You're dead.
yeah,
This is like, goodbye.
yeah. Like, okay. Oh, all right. Now I have a strip mine target.
Like,
You always play strip mine.
I mean, like,
I was
or
feeling
waste-
wary
yeah.
about playing strip mine against mono red,
But here we are.
yeah. No, thank you.
And last
Felton's
but not
Cane.
least, oh, this one was.
Yeah.
I always liked this card.
Yeah, it's
I don't
got-
know why, but it just looked cool and it had a neat effect.
Yeah, Felden's Cane is a 1-mana artifact. Tap, reshuffle your graveyard into your library, remove Felden's Cane from the game.
So it exiles itself.
Yeah,
So that's probably being errated to like exile it as a
Mm-hmm.
cost, and then you just reshuffle. This and like was it? No, Tormod's Crypt is the one that
blows
exiles.
away libraries.
Yeah, this one does the opposite. So you're
Yeah,
like,
it's like half of an elixir of immortality.
yeah, actually you're like Tormod's Crypt, and you're like, in response, I stick. Give him the stick. Don't give him the stick. Oh.
Felden found the first of these canes frozen in the Ronum Glacier.
So what's our first pick from this pile of garbage?
Well, I think we have to. I think we are obligated to take the tower.
Yeah.
That way we can ramp into.
We can ramp into Argothian Pixies.
Yeah, like the Pixies are actually the best card.
We have no cards in this pack over 3 CMC.
I think the Pixies might actually be the best card
Yeah, it's probably right actually. Like
because they actually do something.
it's a piker
Yeah.
that might be able to get through something they play. So first pick Pixies. Woo!
All right. Here. Oh, actually.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the video here, and we're going to move over into Studio B, and we will have the deck lists up, and we will be commenting over them as
we're
we
gonna-
do deck techs with these Highlander lists.
Because y'all sent us some stuff, and we're gonna see
Yeah.
what we can do to up your game a bit.
Yeah,
Kick it up a notch. Bam. You know.
Yeah.
Just old memes.
I'm going to be Simon Cowell.
I will be a plank of wood.
Okay. Catch you in the other room. Are going to start off by looking at how many lists do we have?
We have 4.
Okay.
So we got a bunch, but a lot of them were fine,
Yeah.
just fine. So good job there.
Yeah, exactly. Just, if we don't talk about your list, it's probably okay, and just go play it and
Play it, test it,
Yeah.
listen to or look at similar lists and pull some ideas from there. So we're gonna start here with
And which isn't to say that these lists are bad.
no, they're not.
Yeah.
But you did send them to us with the intent that we try to spice them up a little
Yeah.
bit.
So I think these are the lists we had the most to say about.
Yeah. Jeskai Artifacts by Tim Morris.
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
So there's a lot of very good cards in this list, and a lot of cards that I think don't fit as well.
Yeah.
Like there are things like the not Scuttling Doom Engine, the Psychosis Crawler in particular,
Yeah.
that I don't like as much. And then there's also the
So
Broodstar.
you know what this is? This is, I think, a classic issue that happens with like first time Highlander lists is that you throw in a lot of good cards and they don't really have a theme. And a list like this, because it's it's lots of artifact creatures that's got a little bit in common with Affinity. You can either go like big or small with this. And maybe there's a little bit of space in the middle, but I think you want to go like super hyper aggro
Or
artifacts or like big stompy destroy you with like big broken stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think that, oh god, what's the, I don't think Porcelain Legionnaire and Blightsteel Colossus want to be in the same list.
Usually, no. Although the argument could be made that a deck playing Tinker should do that anyways.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
But,
I mean, Tinker is in this list.
yeah, it's more like... But yeah, like, Legionnaire and, like, Revoker are part of an aggro list. Atog's part of an aggro list. Arcbound Ravager is part of an aggro list. Etch Champion is aggro. And then there's, like... where is it? Yeah, stuff like Goblin Welder is much more on the large end because you can use it to cheat stuff into play.
Yeah, like Welder is a combo piece.
Yeah, Forge Master is definitely a combo piece.
Master of Ethereum is aggro.
Yeah, so there's sort of like two decks kind of woven here, and I think the important thing is to pick whether you want to go like an aggro style or like a big artifact style because both work.
Yeah.
But just like, pick one or pick the other and then choose cards to complement them. So like a land count of 35 is probably pretty good for aggro. You could maybe go a little lower.
Yeah.
Because if you were going to do aggro, you could actually benefit from playing Moxes. Like you can play Mox Opal in this kind of deck and it's really good.
Yeah. Chrome Mox.
Yeah, Chrome Mox. Actually, Chrome Mox might not be good with artifacts. Because it's hard to pitch stuff.
Oh, so, yeah, it is. It's really hard to get anything out for it.
But regular Moxes would be amazing in here. So yeah, like for an aggro list, like between 33 and 35, depending on what your curve is.
And yeah, in an aggro list, I'm not sure on the Planeswalkers either.
Yeah, I think aggro does not because Tezzeret is amazing in like artifact-centric decks, but because he's a 5-drop that doesn't immediately kill your opponent, he's not good in aggro. He's amazing in he's actually incredible in combo. Like I've seen lists that do Time Vault that he's really, really good in because he finds both those pieces without running out of loyalty.
Yeah.
Ral Zarek is good, but he's not actually particularly in theme with either of the decks we're talking about. Yeah. Unless you build Time Vault, in which case he's amazing in Time Vault.
Yeah, I would think in like this list that a Johnny Vengeant might be better.
Yeah.
At the same mana cost. Or
it's weird because like in an artifact aggro deck, I think I would err more on the side of having like maximum synergy.
Yeah.
And just like a few of the very best cards to complement that, like burn spells, maybe counter spells, the white removal spells would be the best. So it's like you want if you're gonna stick with this color theme, which is good actually. There's plenty of good stuff for this. You'd want to play your like lightning bolts, maybe fork bolt, chain lightning, stuff like that. Path to Exile. You've got Path and Swords here, so Path. No Swords to Plowshares, which is probably a mistake. If you're playing Path, you want to be playing Swords. Just full stop. Those two are some of the best removal in the game, certainly in Highlander. And then just maybe a handful of really good counter spells like Mana Leak, maybe Miscalc, stuff like that.
Daze, if you're on more the aggro side, I think.
Yeah, Daze is a very tempo-y card.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, all the low curve ones like Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, that kind of thing. Yeah. Because then you can play out a bunch of guys, leave a little bit of mana up to slow them down, then you just like crash in with a million dudes.
Would you want Aether Vial in an aggro artifact list?
Yes, actually. In fact, definitely. Because Aether Vial is good in aggro. It would be amazing in artifact aggro. Because you're just like... Maybe you just go Vial, creature, Shrapnel Blast with it. Or you hit Metalcraft way sooner, which is amazing. Like, Etch Champion is so stupid in this kind of list.
Yeah. Like, Etch Champion doesn't look like a lot, but you can't kill it.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't interact with it. Yeah. It just it's
you play this guy with the artifact lands, and then like I said, Moxes, and equipment, and then he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I think that an aggro style deck like this would want to play a bunch more equipment.
Yeah.
Like, actually, this deck would be in aggro. It would be great with Stoneforge Mystic, Jite, Bone Splitter, maybe Grafted War Gear,
Yeah.
and then a sword or two.
Yeah.
Like Sword of Fire and Ice, maybe Sword of Feast and Famine. Any of the swords are good except for the blue-green one.
Yeah,
which is not amazing.
Yeah. It like that one has its uses, but it's very specific.
Yeah, but so yeah, just like swords, and then you could use white to help get more of those things. Like Enlightened Tutor would be incredible in actually either of these lists. Just 1 mana, find a enchantment or artifact. There's not a lot of actually. Oh yeah, it finds you in Soul Artifact, which is really good in aggro. You cast this on like a land or a mox or something.
Yeah. Gear per Aether Grid, I don't think wants to be in this list.
No, I think that's for. I've seen this, I think, be reasonably successful with lists that want to go like more of the 2-drop mana rocks into something huge. The deck that goes like land, rock, worm coil,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Because then it lets you play a sort of a more control-y game. Because this is slow, but it adds
gets there.
inevitability.
Yeah.
I think Molten Nursery does not have a place in either of these decks.
No. It just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, it's super slow. Like, for 3 mana, you just want more. It's whenever you cast a colorless spell, it deals 1 damage to a creature player. I don't think you're going to be triggering that as often as you think, especially considering a lot of these artifact creatures are colored. You won't trigger off of them. So, Spy Network, on the other hand,
Yeah.
I think is good. That's probably fine in aggro, and in fact, it's actually incredible in aggro.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because it makes you flyers that are evasive and it draws you cards. This is like the artifact aggro deck version of
Bitter Blossom?
Bitter Blossom combined with
Edric?
Edric, yeah. So
Yeah.
this is nuts. Temperate Steel, really, really good in aggro. I think it's incredible. O-Ring is fine in either deck. You could probably go lower mana cost for if you're trying to keep your curve low, but it solves so many problems.
Yeah.
And in a 3-color deck, it's got a nice splashy quality to it. You could play something like
D-Sphere?
yeah, Detention Sphere is probably pretty good. That might actually be better because you have the colors for it. Brittle Effigy is not really good in anything.
Yeah.
Sorry. Cranial Plating, amazing in aggro. Ichor Wellspring,
I like this card a lot.
The dream play is
Yeah.
to tinker this,
Yeah.
but that's never going to happen. And
Well, I mean, like, it theoretically could.
it could, but it's
but-
not super likely. I think it's a trappy card. I think there's some deck that I've seen that was like really weirdo combo that made this work, but it wasn't great. Same thing with Sculpting Steel. Like, I think this card looks better than it is. And maybe it's really good in a deck that is able to slam stuff like, Battlesphere or Wormcoil or maybe even Doom Engine or something. But, like, I don't know. It's risky. You know what? I would definitely play Phyrexian Metamorph over this
Well, they are
all
playing
day.
Metamorph.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is basically this card, but better in almost every possible way. So you don't need Sculpting Steel if you have Metamorph. And
Yeah.
I think Metamorph is probably good in both styles of deck, like big and small.
Yep.
It's just so flexible.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want 2 Worm Coils or
Sometimes
everything.
you need another Thran Dynamo.
yeah. So Thopter Foundry, which really ought to have
Sword of the
a
Meek.
Sword of the Meek paired with it.
Because okay, and when we say that, we mean like these are both good cards on their own,
But
that you can occasionally oops into winning the game with.
yeah. And this isn't like I think Thopter Sword is probably better in the big style artifact deck because you have access to more mana. It's like the Thopter Sword combo doesn't actually win you the game.
No,
It
but
just-
it's
It adds
tremendous
Yeah.
inevitability.
Yeah.
And things like if you're playing Academy Runes, it's really tempting to throw in things like Mindslaver.
Yeah, that's another big one because you can just slaver lock people with that card if you have like 10 mana.
Yeah.
But then you just win the game, and you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, the big deck wants to play a bunch of rocks to ramp out into some sort of artifact 6-drop, and then play stuff like Forge Master to have that happen more quickly. Let's see what else. Yeah, the big list wants to hit the Scuttling Doom engines and stuff. I don't know that Sharding Sphinxes. Well, what does this do? This would be great if it was less mana.
Yeah. Like, she seems like she would be great with, like, Thopter Spy Network.
Yeah,
right? Like in a Spy Kids kind of list.
For those of you listening, Sharding Sphinx is 6 mana, 4/4 flyer. Whenever an artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you get a blue Thopter with flying. And that would be great, but it's 6 mana.
Yeah.
So the deck that wants this, that plays a bunch of creatures, is never getting to 6 mana to cast this. And by the time you did cast this, if you haven't won the game already, it's probably
yeah. Like
not
if you're playing Sharding Sphinx at 6 mana, your opponent might already have Baneslayer.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff like Signal Pest, I think, is really, really good for the aggro list. I think Slag Fiend is a trap. Because its power and toughness are equal to the number of artifact cards in all graveyards. And a lot of times, that will be 0.
Yep.
That will frequently be 0. And there's a non-zero number of artifact hate cards that are not even played, I don't want to say deliberately, but like incidentally, where they can just empty your graveyard and this will just be a 1/1 or maybe a 0/0.
Yep.
So just for 1 red, you could probably just play Lightning Bolt. Sad Robot, Zoldan Simulacrum, good for the big list, not good for the aggro list. Trinket Mage, probably good for both.
Yep.
Trinket Mage finds you not cranial plating, but it finds you stuff like Skull Clamp, which you can play for free now.
Yeah.
Skull Clamp is 0 points. That should be in your
Skull
aggro
Clamp
deck.
should be in here if you're going aggro.
Yeah, that's nutter butter. Whirler Rogue?
I like this card a lot.
I think, this is good. I think this is good in aggro. I want to see Mom and Dad in the aggro list. Pia and Kieran.
Yeah, Pia and Karen Millar.
I think they're real good. In fact, they're probably fine in both versions.
Yeah,
but,
well, it's like, did you like Goblin or Siege Gang Commander?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do we have a card for you?
So yeah. Anyway, the overall of this is like, pick one direction or the other, and then just like really focus on that. Like play a bunch of like small, aggressively costed, aggressive creatures, and then low costed spells that enhance that, or go the opposite direction. Play a whole bunch of mana rocks, like the 2-drop ones, like Signets and Mind Stone and stuff like that, and then just go big and crush them with something huge. Play like Sundering Titan and blow up all their lands.
Yeah.
Just be a bastard.
Yeah, there's tons of good cards in this list. It just needs more cohesive direction.
Yeah, and then like for the big one, for the big style deck, stuff like Duretti, Scrap Savant, and maybe Trash or Treasure get good if you play more loot effects. So like those two and something like say Dak Faden be real good in this deck. Just and like big draw effects like Compulsive Research, or like Faithless Looting, where you're just like ripping lots of cards and dumping stuff in your bin, so that you can hit it with what's his face? Yeah, Goblin Welder. Again, Trash or Treasure. There's a, what is it called? Yeah, Scrap Mastery, which you could just annihilate people with this.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Next list.
Yeah, let's get onto it. Combo Mill. What do we have here? So, combo deck, you're looking to mill them out. So, we're in blue-black. So,
which is an unusual choice for the Painter Servant or Painter Stone. Usually those lists are in red or white in Legacy.
So, I think the first thing that I saw, there's lots of great cards in here, once again. I think the mistake with Mill in Highlander is having incidental Mill, because Mill kind of works it works pretty well
Yeah,
in,
it works.
in limited.
It's very good in limited.
So like 40 cards, not super difficult to wipe out, and
Yeah.
then your opponent just draws themselves to death. Standard, or just like standard 60 card style formats, difficult.
Yeah, difficult.
100 cards, it's impossible. With
Yeah.
like incidental mill, you could literally mill somebody 50 or 60 cards and have them not care. Mm-hmm. Like just not care, because then they have, you know...
Or worse yet, they're like, cool, treasure cruise.
Yeah, you
Right.
know, you might actually enable them. If they're on Reanimator, you enable them. And everybody's playing Delve spells. Mm-hmm. So that would just make it better. So I feel, as far as Highlander is concerned, mill needs to be all or nothing.
Yeah. So like Painter's Stone is the way to go, and the other one is...
Yeah, Painter, Servant, Grindstone is the one. And then I said that I would like to see white in this list for Rest in Peace, Helm of Obedience. Because those are the two, just annihilate your opponent's library.
Yep.
I'm going to mention one more one just because it's funny. I can't remember the name of it. Tunnel Vision. It's not good, but it is one other way you can mill your opponent.
What does it do?
It's like 5 mana. Name a card. Reveal cards.
Here it is.
Is it? Oh, is it? Oh, it is
Yeah,
there.
it's right
so
there.
it's in there.
Yeah, okay.
This is really cute.
Yeah.
And if you can make this work, then you win Magic forever.
Yeah.
So it's name a card. Target player reveals cards on the top of his or her library until the name card is revealed. If it is, they put the rest of the revealed cards in their graveyard and the name card on top. Otherwise, they shuffle their library. So the key with this one is you contrive a way to know what their bottom card is.
Yeah.
And then you obliterate their library. And this can actually work if you play stuff like, Condemn?
Like Terminus.
Yeah, Condemn, Terminus, is Condemn in here?
Vendilion Cleave.
Yeah, Vendilion Cleave's the big
which
one.
they are playing. Right? So like there are the mill combos here.
Yeah, and I think you should just focus on the ones that, like, wipe out your opponent in one hit.
Yeah.
I don't like stuff like Glimpse the Unthinkable, Mind Funeral, because this is all incidental mill that I think you will find does almost nothing.
Yeah, like you will mill 40 cards and your opponent will kill you.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of sort of random little things trying to get benefit out of milling people, and I think that that's, again, a mistake. I think that you want to just kill them with this combo and then play cards that support you finding and playing and protecting those things. Yeah, so like here's sort of Body and Mind. You would have to hit somebody
10 times.
like minimum 9 times to kill them with mill using this sword. So I just don't think it's good enough. Stuff like Ashiok is playable anyway.
Yeah.
But hoping to use this to mill your opponent out, I don't think it's going to work. And same with Jace Memory Adept. Tezzeret, I like in this list.
Yeah, well, it finds
important pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, oh yeah, okay. So this is part of the Tunnel Vision package.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a soft spot for this combo because it's so funny.
Yeah.
Any of these spells that put a card on the bottom of your opponent's library and that you have a way, like Jace the Mind Sculptor would be great in this deck because you just Fate Seal them and then Tunnel Vision to kill them.
And just pray they don't have a fetch land.
Yeah, so that's, the issue. Sometimes you're just going to whiff off of Tunnel Vision, but yeah, I think that this deck wants to play Tunnel Vision because it's sweet, because why not?
Yeah.
It wants to play Painter, Servant, Grindstone, and ideally Rest in Peace, Helm of Obedience. And then just every other card should be support to find those cards, to play them, and to protect them. So like counter spells, tutors, draw spells. There's a bunch of stuff that's pretty good here. Like Visions from Beyond, I don't think is good because this is relying on the incidental mill, which I've already mentioned is not great. Like this would just be better as Treasure Cruise. Trapmaker Snare. Yeah,
that's for like Mindbreak Trap.
It's for Mindbreak Trap or Archive Trap.
Archive. Yeah, sorry.
Very good. Stifle's just playable on its own. This is Silumgar's Command is like kind of all right. I think you could play better cards. Stuff like Shred Memory, I think is good because it's
it finds you what you're looking for.
yeah, it finds you what you're looking for. It's a non-pointed tutor. So yeah, Shred Memory and Muddle the Mixture. I think Muddle might be 1 point.
Really?
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
Limdol's Vault is also 1 point. But these are good and I think important cards in this deck because they find your combo.
Yep.
Mystic Confluence, probably fine. I think you'd probably want to play some more of the lower costed counter spells, and then just a few little spot removal spells to keep you from getting killed by aggro creatures. I think most of these creatures could go.
Yeah.
Because like Consuming Aberration relies on Incidental Mill, which is not great.
Yeah.
Dimir Infiltrator is fine because
Yeah,
it's
because it
another
finds you
tutor.
things. The Guild Mage is a combo piece. Like, there's a combo with Duskmantle Guild Mage.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is it Mind Crank?
I think it might be. I forget how that one works, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
a
loses
combo.
life. Yeah.
Maybe. It seems very fragile.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you have just stronger combos. Because like Painter Stone just kills them on the spot. And it's hard to disrupt. This is a little janky. I think that if it was a budget constraint and you could only get Mind Crank and Infiltrator, maybe that could work.
Yeah, or Guild Mage.
Or Guild Mage. Hadron Crab, as much as I love this
Yeah.
creature, I don't think it's good in this deck. Jace Prodigy is fine.
Yeah, it's just
It's
an
just
excellent
super
card.
good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just gonna win you the game.
Phantasm is another one that gets value off of Incidental Mill,
And you're not trying to kill them with
Yeah.
a 5/5 flyer. You're trying to mill them to death.
yeah,
Same with Mortivore. Same with Nightcrawler
or Night Howler.
or Night Howler. Snapcaster is good just because it's gonna
Yeah,
flashback
recur,
all sorts of stuff. Trinket Mage important because it finds Grindstone. V-Cleek is just good anyways,
and
and
it
it combos
enables
with Tunnel Vision. And
And
White
White-
at Precinct 6 is just not good.
Yeah.
35 lands is probably fine for this kind of deck. Yeah, I think that's probably all right. But yeah, just like maybe some more counters, maybe some more tutors. This might be a Tainted Pack deck because you're in 3 colors. You could maybe make that work.
Yeah.
But what else could you play that? Because
Well, like Tainted Pact.
a Demonic Tutor.
Yeah, DT.
I don't know how many points some of these cards like.
Like Tainted Pact, you're going to get wrecked off of your mana base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would need to build around Tainted Pact.
Yeah, and like Tainted Pact makes you if you build around Tainted Pact, you become super vulnerable to things like Back to Basics.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that this deck plays 12 islands, 11
Yeah, I
swamps.
like that a lot because Back to Basics is a very real thing.
Yeah, it'll mess you up because aggro decks play it, and mid-range decks and control decks will play that kind of card. So, it turns out sometimes playing lots of basics is real good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So just good idea. Focus it some more.
Yeah.
Just like I think you need to pick your strong combos and then just go all in on those for this style of deck. But yeah, there's tons of good stuff here. You know, just like let me just quickly go through this. Sorcery, Treasure Cruise, good. Toxic Deluge is going to keep you alive through aggro. That's good. You know, Thoughtseize, Serum Visions, all this stuff is fine.
Yeah.
In fact, very good. You know, the discard package of him, Duress, Despise. It's not amazing.
You usually have better ways of getting rid of planeswalkers and creatures
Yeah,
than hand-hitting them.
like,
Oh, and they are playing Demonic Tutor.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
you've got DT. I should probably look through.
Dark
yeah.
Petition I like.
Yeah, this is probably quite good in this deck, because then you can tutor for and cast many of your combo pieces. Damnation I like in this deck. Brain Spoil is maybe, I think that's greedy, because it only transmutes for what, like Treasure Cruise or Tunnel Vision.
It doesn't. Brain Spoil is 5.
Oh, Tunnel Vision's 5. Oh,
6.
oh no, so it doesn't. So this doesn't find what you want.
It transmutes for Jace Memory Adept, which we have
it's not
said
good.
is not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, like I like the 2-drop transmute cards like Dimir Infiltrator,
Muddle.
Muddle the Mixture, and Shred Memory, but the other ones are not great. because most of these do something when they're not tutoring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that.
Okay, next
Let's
deck.
move on to Salt Highlander by Zach Raff.
Yeah.
So what do we have here? So we got 38 lands, 22 instants, 11 sorceries, 22 creatures, and a bunch of other stuff. So this looks like a control deck.
Yeah, but it's playing like this. This seems to be doing what a lot of the Bug Legacy lists do, which is play things like Baleful Strix and like cards like Shardless Agent, things that are good value cards that you can also pitch to Force of Will.
Yeah.
It seems again like a little unfocused.
Yeah, this is like a lot of good cards. This looks more in the direction of a control deck. So
But
for this,
with
I
things like Delver.
Yeah, Delver not good in control. And then there's some stuff that's just like really high costed that could be better. So like Kiga the Tidestar is okay, but for 6 mana you could probably just be playing Grave Titan or something.
Yeah.
Something that really, really fucks them.
Progenitor Mimic I like. I like this card a lot.
Really? What does it do?
It copies a card when it comes into play, and on your upkeep it makes a token of it.
Oh, okay.
Like it's
not good.
It's a pet card.
It's a pet card.
I think
if this is your pet card,
if this
play
is your
it.
pet card, absolutely play it. I think it's a sweet pet card to have.
Prophet of Krufix. This is 100% a commander holdover.
Yeah.
This card is not good in Highlander because I think that this card got banned in Commander.
Yeah.
I think this card shines in Commander because you get so many. It
Untaps,
untaps all creatures and lands you control during each other player's turn, so you get 3 to 5 untaps of all your shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You get a turn for every other opponent's turn because it also gives creature cards flash.
Yeah, but in this deck, it's a 2/3 for 5.
Yeah.
That doesn't do a whole lot.
Well, it dies to Lightning Bolt.
It's, yeah, for 5 mana you
like-
could do so much more.
Yeah.
But stuff like Rex Sage,
Scoop Mob.
I don't know how I feel about this card because I think this is a pet card and it might be amazing, but the jank is so high with Scoot Mob. It's just like I want him to be good, and you're playing enough lands to make him maybe be good, but I don't know. I think it's a trap.
And then like Shadow Mage Infiltrator, I like that card too.
Yeah, I think it's good. It might be fine in control because it's just sort of this like. I think the 3 toughness makes it good in control.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just park this thing and it eats pikers all day.
Yeah.
And then if you're leaning on your opponent, it's a source of more cards.
Yeah, it can pick up. I don't know. They aren't playing any swords or equipment.
Yeah, but I don't think you want to in a control deck like this.
Yeah, like an evasive Ophidian is fine.
Yeah, I
right?
think that guy's fine.
It's a good card. Thassa's Emissary, however, is less like man, I want this card to be real.
I know, it's you're just like just be good.
Yeah.
Be good. I think if you were
For 6 mana though, drawing a card
you would be
and doing 3 more damage to someone.
What's that creature from Cold Snap? Orin Viper.
Okay, yeah.
I think that would be way better than this. It's
Yeah.
green 1. And it's like a 2/3 or something, and whenever it hits, it has like pseudo death touch, and whenever it hits
Right.
it draws a card. That one might be way better.
Mm-hmm. Like again, this list seems to be trying to do several different things at once.
Yeah.
And like if cards like Shadow Mage Infiltrator are your jam, go full on Spy Kids and get Edric, Spy Master here.
Yeah, that's starting to form like a kind of a mid-rangey. It could be aggro.
Mm-hmm.
Edric's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that given everything else that I've seen here, this definitely feels more of a control deck where it's just like play out some land, do the draw go until you hit 5 or 6 lands, then play something they can't deal with and kill them with it. And then just have utility creatures like Trigon Predator is good in pretty much any deck that can play these colors because it's evasive It has 3 toughness, which is good, and it just blows up their artifacts and enchantments. Same with Rex Sage. These are both really, really solid cards that you just should play. I've never played with Warden of the First Tree. I think he's more of an aggro card.
I think that's right.
Yeah, like for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for 7 mana investment, you get a 3/3 with trample and lifelink. I think you could do a lot better for this. Like he wants to be a Figure of Destiny, and maybe in the kind of deck that plays that creature, he's good.
I remember getting wrecked by this card a lot in Limited, where I discovered that his final ability is repeatable.
Yeah, that's scary.
But I don't think he is good enough.
Yeah, I don't think Survival of the Fittest belongs in this deck, and I'll tell you why. Because only 22 creatures. This Survival of the Fittest is an incredible card. I think you want to be playing a metric shit ton of creatures to make it good.
Yes.
I think this is good in creature-based combo decks, in creature-based toolkit decks. I don't think it is good in control because you need creatures to tutor for creatures, and if you only have 22, you're not going to have a lot. And these ones,
and I don't think you want to be pitching. Like if you have a highly curated list of the best creatures in your control list, you don't want to be throwing out one of them for another one.
Yeah.
Especially for one card, card disadvantage.
Yeah. Sylvan Library, on the other hand, is good in everything. Play it.
Yeah.
Almost not kidding. It's so stupid how good this card is.
Yeah, and then you can also do things like Top Sylvan Library.
Yep.
Brainstorm Sylvan Library. For the love of God, if you're playing Sylvan Library, there's nothing in the rules that says you have to do this. But keep your fucking draws for that turn separate.
Yeah, you should.
Otherwise,
do that.
it's a giant headache for everyone. And you get a judge call and...
You know what makes this card really weird?
This card?
No, not is it Prophet? Not Prophet of Crucifix. The 1 green 2/4 that you play with your top card revealed.
Courser of Crucifix.
Yeah, Courser of Crucifix, because you reveal the 3 cards that you look, and then the 4th card on top.
Yeah.
So in some ways, it lets you peek even deeper. So that's the thing. Underworld Connections, I think, should be Phyrexian Arena. Just straight up.
Yeah.
I think Phyrexian Arena is way better than this card in this kind of deck. And this is the kind of deck that likes drawing more cards, and something like Arena does it in the way that you want to. This, you arguably have more control over how many cards you draw and when, but it's tying up one of your lands. And that's not great. I don't think this is a Bob list, because you're going to be playing 6 drops. Yeah. And probably delve creatures. You know, like this is the kind of deck you want to get. You definitely want to get Tasigur in here. That kind of thing. Tasigur, and is Treasure Cruise in here? Yeah, Treasure Cruise is in here, so that's good. So that's good. Oh man, it's been forever since I saw Jace Beleren. I think this guy's fine.
Yeah, no, he's
I think he's good in control.
Yeah.
He's not been seeing a lot of play recently because tiny actual Babby Jace got printed, but this guy's fine. He's very solid.
I like him.
Sometimes, most of the time I've seen this guy played, you play him out and he just draws 3 cards and dies.
Yep.
Because he's not worth attacking. Sometimes they'll draw 2 Temple Bell and then draw 3 more. Yeah. So he's just good. Obviously, Jace the Mind Sculptor's good and everything. Kiora.
Yeah, I like repeatable Explorer.
I think this is probably fine.
Yeah, I like her.
I think I lost to this card, so I think it's good in control. Yeah, draw a card, Explorer as her -1, I think is good. She starts with a tiny amount of loyalty, but that ultimate is threatened in 3 or 4 turns, which is, and it's really good. But yeah, just bubbling things is probably fine. Try this card out; it's probably good.
She's definitely good in a hard control list.
It's the no stick.
Yep.
Which probably pretty good in a deck that plays Abrupt Decay
Yeah.
and Counterspell.
Yeah.
And like Golgari Charm and go for... Yeah, this is probably fine.
Yep.
Fucking Mana Drain. Yeah, so this is probably fine. You could even add more.
What's Isochron Scepter's cost?
2.
Two?
And then 2 to
Okay.
activate it.
I also really like putting Sultai Charm on this.
You can't. What does it have to be?
I thought it was an instant.
CMC 2 or less.
2 or less.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So it has to be an instant, has to be 2 or less.
Sorry,
so
I know
you get
how
all
this
your
game works.
all your kill spells. I see this show up a lot, ultimate price in Highlander brews that people are trying to work on. This was good in standard. I think it's real bad in Highlander.
Yeah. Like a lot of the scariest threats are multicolored.
Doomblade
or
is just
not colored.
Yeah, I think Doomblade is just better than this.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Like Go for the Throat is better than Doomblade,
Mm-hmm.
which is in this deck, but I think if you wanted to play Ultimate Price, you should play Doomblade, or maybe even not Smother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that this is going to have more blind spots than you think.
Yeah, especially and like if you're looking at something across the board like a Gaddock Teague.
Yeah, you just
Or-
want to take that thing out.
Yeah.
Oh man, K-Grip.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I saw Corrosive Grip. This is a fine card.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's fallen out of popularity recently, probably because Reclamation Sage got printed, but it's still fine.
Yeah, like if you absolutely positively have to kill a Sensei's Divining Top.
Yeah, Hero's Downfall good in this kind of list because you have access to enough mana to do it. Golgari Charm surprisingly good, like very good.
Kills TNN.
Yeah, killing True Name is good. And speaking of which, you should probably be playing
True Name Nemesis.
and
Yeah.
Vendilion Clique in this kind of list. I like Forbidden Alchemy. Most of these draw spells are just fine. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, Dig, Factor Fiction, Cryptic, Capsize. Yes.
Like Capsize is much better in Commander where you have access to 12 mana.
And just a lot more time to do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably okay. You may be disappointed by it, and you
Yeah.
may end up wishing you were playing a bounce spell like Into the Royal.
Yeah.
That one's good.
Yeah,
and
Into the Royal, Chain
Into the
of
Royal
Vapor.
also goes on Isochron Scepter.
Yeah.
So, Chainers I really like in this deck.
Concentrate. I think I would rather have my... If I'm paying 4 mana for a draw spell, I'd rather have it at instant speed.
Yep. I mean, there's
Like...
it's probably all right. You could play Thirst for Knowledge or something like that.
Yeah.
There's lots of draw spells. Farseek is fine. I think that this deck, if it doesn't play it, I think, what's it called? Nature's Lore is probably better than Farseek. Because it finds a forest, any forest, so it finds your breeding pool and puts it in untapped. So it's like Rampant Growth for a duel that doesn't come in tapped, so it's really good. And then if you can afford it, a 3 Visits, which is the same card, only Portal 3 Kingdom and like a $1 bajillion.
Yeah.
Mind Twist, Personal Tutor is probably fine. Tidings? Yeah, I don't know about these big one spells. Where is it? Where is it? There's the new one that's I think over Tidings I would play
Opportunity?
Mystic Confluence.
Yes.
Mystic
Yeah.
Confluence is
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
So it would be this card, one less card, 3 times as many options. Because it's pick one of the following, pick 3. You can pick the same option more than once. It's like draw a card, bounce a thing, counter unless they pay 2.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And for a control deck like this, 38 land is probably correct. I don't like the vivid lands. I mean, if they're what you can afford, play them. They're very slow. And you'll notice, like, this list has 3 of the temples.
Yeah, there's a lot of tap lands in here.
I think 2 temples is plenty. The 2 blue temples.
There is a very heated debate right now in the Highlander
Yeah,
community over
whether
whether
temples are good.
bad or good. and the people who are like they're good are. It's a very polarized debate.
Yeah.
Either they are amazing or they are unplayable garbage.
Yeah, like this, I think this land base has way too many tap lands. Stuff like Bad River, I like as a budget option for fetches.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if it's what you can afford when you're putting this deck together, it's fine. Nothing wrong with this. But it will be slow. I don't think stuff like Barrenmoor, the cycle lands, are good unless you're playing something like Life in the Loam, in which case you can abuse them to draw more stuff. Otherwise, this is just going to be a slow swamp. So Bio, Breeding Pool, yeah, all this stuff. Evolving Wilds, if you're playing actual fetches, I don't think you need it.
No. Yeah, like, I mean, we've been saying a lot of things like, cost may be a concern for you. However,
Yeah.
if you're playing Library of Alexandria and Bayou,
Yeah.
then
It's like if this was like a buy guide, I would forego Library of Alexandria and get a full set of fetches.
yeah. And like a Snapcaster.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many tap lands in here. There's way too many. Like, you can afford to be a little slow. I don't think you can afford to be that slow.
Mm-hmm.
Reliquary Tower
will do nothing.
Yeah, it's no good in Highlander. Unless you're doing some sort of weirdo combo where you draw tons of cards. This most of the time will tap for one colorless and then get wastelanded.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, they won't bother wastelanding it because...
no.
Yeah, Strip Mine is a weird choice for this deck, points-wise. I think you could spend your points a little better. Like, I think that this could be... this is definitely one... You've got Treasure Cruise. You've got Mind Twist. I think, like, you could probably put Demonic Tutor in here. There's other stuff, like this might be a... I don't think this is a Time Walk deck, but this is probably an Ancestral Recall deck.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... Yeah.
Because Ancestral Recall on Isochron Scepter is probably pretty good.
Yeah, it seems fine.
I've heard it's good.
Seems fine.
It's weird, because, like, Time Walk is actually only really good in aggressive or tempo decks, where they just need one extra turn to kill you.
Yep. A lot of the time, Time Walk is just explore.
Yeah. Other than that, like, most of the land base here is good, but you just have way too many tap lands. I would cut all the Vivids, maybe one of the Temples. The Tri-lands are okay.
Yeah.
I think all of the cycle lands need to go, and you could play basics instead. You don't need to play Evolving Wilds, I think. And I would try to replace the Torment fetches with
Onslaught
and Zendikar fetches in the appropriate colors, and then your deck is going to be like much more consistent.
in 3 colors you run 9 fetches, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some formula, not a formula for it, but there's a thing for it. All right.
Or
well,
you can run 9 fetches.
yeah, you can. You ought to run as many fetches as you can because it's just good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it shuffles your deck. The thinning is overrated. People talk about using fetches to thin your deck. It has a negligible effect in Highlander. You're probably not going to notice it that much. I think they're mostly valuable for finding the lands you want because each fetch is like a virtual copy of all your duels. So that is what makes them worth playing.
Well, it's a virtual copy of like 3 of your duels.
Yeah, pretty much. So
it's a virtual copy of the best duel in your deck.
Yeah. So those are good. All right. How are we doing for time?
I think we're at about 45 minutes right now,
Okay.
and we had a 20-minute intro.
Well, let's get through this last one.
Okay.
Well, that's a lot of creatures. This is Naya by Wagner Hecht. So we've got 36 lands, 43 creatures, and a little bit of other stuff. This looks like it should be an aggro deck or some sort of creature-based combo. Oh, yes, this one? I looked at this one. This is like every creature combo in the world.
Yeah, like I see
all
right
in
away,
one deck.
Academy Rector and
Oh man.
Yeah, there's
Zealous Conscripts,
Village Protean
Bellringer.
Hulk.
Yeah,
Revelark.
Yeah, there's Spike Feeder, Archangel of Thune. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder if there's just too many combos in here. Because, like, these are all good, known, playable combos, but my sensation is that they'll end up tripping over one another, and you'll end up like getting half the pieces for one combo and then half the pieces for another combo, and your opponent's beating your door down as you're trying to like cram this shit together.
Yeah, because like, what are your ways of finding them?
Evolutionary Leap is. I just want to get this out of the way. Evolutionary Leap is awful.
Yeah,
in Highlander.
it's not. It's
you want to play Survival of the Fittest.
Yeah.
This is a deck
Yeah,
that survival
this
is
is the Survival of the
amazing.
Fittest.
You have 43 creatures and all these creature combos. Play Survival of the Fittest. Play Survival and play. Did they
Pod.
have Fauna Shaman? They do not have Fauna Shaman. They need Fauna Shaman in this deck. Full stop.
yeah.
So that would be you playing 2 copies of that. I think you need to pick a couple of your favorite combos and go with that. And I think the ones that I would cut, just glancing at this, would be... where is it? I think Hulk combo's bad in this deck.
Yeah, because all the creatures are too expensive.
Well, not only that, so Hulk combo works in its own shell, and it's very reliant on having sacrifice outlets and having a lot of them, which this deck does not have. Like, ways that this deck has to sacrifice creatures are Goblin Bombardment 1, Blasting Station 2, come on, give me 3. We're running out of options here. I may have gone past one. Okay, I'm seeing 2. Maybe there's a third one I've missed. That's not enough. Like, the deck that plays Protean Hulk, Sandra Bullock deck.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Called so because it's always a bridesmaid.
Yep.
It plays, I think, at least a half dozen, maybe more like 8 sack outlets, because it needs them for the combo to work at all. And if you don't have those, and you don't have access to those through tutoring or just like hitting them, your combo will not work.
Yeah, it does stone nothing.
Yeah, because you have to be able to like bust these creatures over and over again to make it work. So I would either build Sandra Bullock with that deck, but for this kind of like Naya creature combo, but also value deck, I think I would cut that and keep a lot of the other stuff. So like the ones you could pull out, Revelark you don't need because that's part of Hulk combo. Like Midnight Gar. Well, actually, no, that's a part of a different combo. And you've also got like Melira combo in here, and that's another one that relies on sack outlets, and you don't have them, so they just won't work.
Like,
unless you wanted to like make a deck that had all those. I think those are completely separate. Like, you have to have tons of sack outlets. Like, I've built because like Melira combo parts are Melira, Redcap, Kitchen Finks, and then Anafenza, where you sacrifice creatures over and over again and then get them to persist, reset, and then you just gain infinite life or dome them for 1,000,000. Again, you have to have a sack outlet, and you've only got like 2 that I can count.
yeah.
You need a lot more. So...
Well, yeah, there's also Pod.
Yeah, Pod's not really a sack outlet, though.
Yeah, because it's only once per
you
turn.
activate it once per turn.
Yeah.
You need one that you have free access to. I think that you could, again, we have like 2 decks here. Pattern of Rebirth and
Flash Hulk.
Yeah, is another part of Hulk. So all those parts are real good in a different deck, I think, that plays all the sack outlets. It's almost 3 decks we have here. The strongest thing I see here is you've got the like Kiki Jiki stuff in here. So like Conscripts, Village Bellringer, which is truthfully not amazing. This is, I think, a contentious card among Kiki Pod players because it's not great on its own, but it obviously wins the game if you have Kiki Jiki or Splinter Twin. Same thing with... No, also just like Perforos probably doesn't do anything in this deck. Like, it domes them for infinity if you if you have Malera combo, but Malera combo kills them anyway.
Yeah.
So I think this card is just completely out of place here. Painter's Servant and Grindstone in here is weird. Honestly, like you have lots of access to ways to find Painter's Servant. Not as many to find Grindstone. Maybe if you played like Enlightened Tutor, you could make that work. Because it is a 2-card combo that's really easy.
It is. And if you can find Painter's Servant trivially, maybe you can fall ass backwards into just like drawing Grindstone naturally. But it's not what that deck wants to do, I think.
Yeah. I like Archangel Spike Feeder combo because it's 2 cards that are good on their own that just have to both be in play at the same time, and then you just gain infinite life. Spike Feeder is fine as just a card to hit, and same with Archangel of Thund. So that's, I think, a strong combo, and it's a 2-card combo, which is good. Same thing with like the Kiki Pod stuff. This Karmic Guide is part of the Hulk combo that you could probably cut. Pod is essential if you want to go with the Kiki Jiki kind of combo, because there's ways to do that. Actually, now that I remember, Red Cap is important for this deck, because if you pod Red Cap, you can just win. Yeah. Because you pod Red Cap into Kiki Jiki. You pod Red Cap into Zealous Conscripts. Conscripts untaps pod. Then you pod the persisted Red Cap into Kiki Jiki and win the game. Right. So that's a pretty sweet play to have. What else here? Is it Splashing Blue for Bounding Crisis?
Looks like it.
It's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's another target for Kiki Jiki and Twin.
Yeah, you've got like a tough choice here, because if you're going to be splashing blue, you may as well just cut the not as great cards like Bellringer and Midnight Guard, and just play Pestermite and Deceiver Exarch. I mean, that would make this a rug deck, but like, if you're just splashing blue for this one card, you may as well splash blue for the other cards, and then maybe cut the ones that are less consistent and less good on their own. But yeah, like playing all the 1-drop mana, well, not all of them, but a lot of 1-drop mana dorks is good for this deck, because you get into a lot of mana. Sharpshooter's kind of weirdly out of place here. I guess it's supposed to be part of a certain combo, but I'm not super seeing it. And then you've got like some just value stuff that kind of could work if you have like this little combo package, and then the rest is just like Naya good stuff. That's probably a fine deck. I don't think I like Crucible in this deck. I think that's like going a totally different direction. And a deck that plays Crucible really wants to... This deck does not play Wasteland or Strip Mine or Tech Edge. Right. So this is very poor in this deck. Like, this is going to get your fetches back, and that's it. And that's not enough reason to just play it for random value. I think you need to... Like, if you're playing Crucible, I think you have to be playing Wasteland and Strip Mine for it to be good. Yeah. Or you just cut it for something else. Stuff like War Gear is a little weird. I think, like, I'm not sure that this deck spends a lot of time crashing in. Yeah, I think I would rather see more creature tutors, like Worldly Tutor. I think it would be good in this deck. Ella Damri's Call has to get into this deck. I'm actually shocked that it's not here. Quarter Calling, very good. You want Cord, you want Ella Damri's Call, you want Worldly Tutor, because you're all looking for creature combos. Green Sun Zenith? Yeah, Green Sun Zenith is pretty good. It doesn't find any of your Kiki pieces, but it finds Bounding Crisis, which is probably pretty good. Yeah. There's another one. Traverse the Ovenwald, which might be good. We're not sure. We're testing it. Yeah. Nobody's quite sure if that card is good. It's probably good in an all-in creature combo deck, but... It needs Delirium, doesn't it? Yeah, which is a little tricky, especially if you don't have that many non-creature spells. Yeah. Oh, I see. He's got Presence of Gond combo, which combos with what's it called? I think it's Midnight Guard. Yeah, I think Presence of Gond only combos with Midnight Guard, and then like Midnight Guard combos with Kiki Jiki. Yeah, I don't know. You've got these sort of like half combos, and then just like Earthcraft Squirrel Nest. That's This is also like sort of out of goose with the rest of the combos here. So yeah, again, you're seeing a theme emerging here. It's just like pick, like narrow it down to just like your strongest options, and then just like support the hell out of it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, well...
Yeah, so I think that, if we had one universal piece of advice, it's pick something and go hard on it.
Yeah, cut the fat.
Yep.
Streamline.
Yeah.
And definitely pick a game plan, because like I think the number one issue that I encounter with new lists and people looking for advice is that they're trying to be 2, 3, 5 decks at once.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of good cards, but they're all cards that are good in way different decks. And you got to pick one game plan and stick with that, and then you will have the consistency that's going to really reward you.
But the only thing that will show you how well it works is playing games of Highlander.
Yep.
Right.
So get yourself on Cockatrice, or try to like make a couple decks and roll it down at your local LGS and get people into the format.
All right. So we're going to go back over to Studio A and to do our outro.
All right.
So meet you back over there. All right. So that was Tap Tap Concede for this week. I hope you really enjoyed it. We loved seeing all your deck submissions, so thank you very much to everyone who sent in their deck. And if we didn't get around to yours...
it was probably either because we just didn't have time, or because it was fine.
Yeah.
Because there was a bunch that were just like, wouldn't really change anything. But do keep brewing. Myself and Serge and the Canadian Highlander Twitter account, which is, I believe, @Canlander.
Yeah.
Are only too happy to answer questions about the format and about card picks and stuff like that. So yeah, play Highlander. It's really good.
So this week's Tap Tap Concede, like all of our podcast content, is brought to you by you, the viewers, due to your generous contributions at www.patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun, which I believe is
At the bottom or something.
either
Or in your
there
knees.
or somewhere around it. It's somewhere in the bottom third.
And that's Can Highlander, or @CanHighlander is the Twitter name. And that's CanadianHighlander.wordpress.com. Is the
Yeah, a
website.
great resource actually for Highlander,
mountains
including
of
the
deck lists and like all the rationale behind the points list.
Also, the Canadian Highlander Facebook group. Just look up Canadian Highlander and you should probably find it. That's a good one to join because there's lots of people there, and it's the actual group that plays at Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
And they sure do love talking about Highlander.
And while we're talking about Canadian Highlander, next week on Community Super League will be the Canadian Highlander Week, where we will be hopefully deploying something to crush noobs. Because if we don't win this round... Is it embarrassing?
Do they put you to death?
I don't know.
You're fine.
Yeah, no, we're fine. Everything's fine.
So thanks for watching, and thanks for contributing, and we will see you in the future.
Bye.
Keep brewing.